Harriman, will you check this for me?
I'd love to, Hart, but I'm kind of swamped.
Zeiss.
Hey, what am I, your mother?
You know, we all work for the same law review.
Right, and we all want to be chosen law review president.
Forget it, Hart. Oh, boy, I love the sense of cooperation around this place. Now, come on, Stotts. Last month, I proofread your article at 3 in the morning.
That was last month.
And use your own code book.
Okay, Musketeers, your leader is back.
Hey, Golden, how was the interview?
Fine, and where's your note on the Peoria decision?
Golden, you just got back from the damn Supreme Court. Are you going to clerk for the justice or not?
Stotts, I don't have time to chit-chat. Where's the McKenzie article?
Oh, come on, Golden, you gotta tell us something.
I walk in.
No.
The justice is there. He talks a little bit. I talk a little bit. Bop, bop, bop. I leave him fly back.
Weren't you blown away?
Of course I was. It is the Supreme Court. And where's your case note? Oh, big one, eh?
Maybe I should look it over just a couple of times.
Don't worry about it, Hart. I'm sure it's fine. Okay, back to work.
Jerry, I was wondering if I could get a line on your thinking in the changes in the uniform system of citation.
Jerry?
Gerald.
Harriman, you're rude, overbearing, and smug. Stay that way. The name's Golden. And stop pandering. In fact, that goes for all of you. I'm not even thinking about my successor. Right now, I don't like any of you. After we turn in this issue, maybe, just maybe, my feelings will warm up to indifference. So stop worrying about your futures and get back to work. That's finito. Move it, Harriman. Move!
He's in an irascible mood, even by Golden's standards.
Well, it's hard to blame him. I mean, everyone is jockeying for his attention, saying, me, I'm the one you should make president.
That's true. On the other hand...
On the other hand, what?
Damn it, Hart, don't you think about it, too?
Not really.
Of course you do.
Who needs a presidency? I mean, you work your butt off day in and day out, week after week, treating everyone like the Gestapo, losing all your friends, and for what? For a little more glory? No thanks. I'll settle for being a drone.
Since when did you ever shy away from hard work or glory?
When you become president, you can make me an editor. I mean, I don't mind some glory.
When I'm the new president.
Come on, Harriman. Not only do you want to be president, you want to be the first woman president of the Law Review. Newsbreak. Today, in the nation's leading law school, Rita Harriman became...
Okay, Hart. That's true. That's a big part of it. But I also happen to be damn good. I know how to be efficient. I don't miss deadlines.
I think you'd be a good president.
You do?
Sure.
Hart. I'd have to assemble a team. I'm thinking of Stotts as notes and comments editor, Clark as managing editor. And do you know where you would fit right in?
Where? I'll bite.
You'd be a great articles editor. You like to see where everything fits in the big picture. Of course, I'd have to keep you in check.
Of course.
You do have a tendency to wander off into left field. But I know we could do the job. We'd be a great team.
A great team.
And people thought that we could never work together.
Come on, Hart. I just got this place cleaned up.
Hey, get off my back, Ford. I had a lousy day.
Well, it must be in the air, because so did I.
Okay. You first.
Brother's coming to visit.
What's the matter with that?
You don't know my brother. Everything he does is perfect. Well, now he's looking around trying to find which law school to attend, and I have a terrible feeling he's going to pick this one, where he will once again continue to be perfect.
Well, anyone who wants to go to law school is out of his mind.
Oh, what happened at the review?
No, you wouldn't believe it. Backbiting for the presidency. And Harriman.
James, we are upset.
Oh, she's got it all planned out. She wants me to be her articles editor. Me to be her articles editor?
I'm not surprised. You probably told her you'd accept.
As a matter of fact, I did. What's so funny?
James, don't you want to be president?
I don't know. I guess. I mean, if someone were to hand it to me.
Oh, come on. Underneath that Midwestern veneer is one of the most competitive human beings I've ever met.
Okay, damn it. I want to be president.
Yeah, your outline for the upcoming issue seems quite satisfactory, Mr. Golden.
Thank you, sir.
However, your progress in your selection of successor is not. A full month has gone by, Mr. Golden, since I requested that you recommend your successor. Yet no names have been submitted to me, and for all I know, you intend to remain as president even after you've graduated and even perhaps for the rest of your life.
I've been busy, sir. My interviews for clerkships, final exams.
Mr. Golden, since when have final exams ever been a problem for you? As to clerkships, unless I'm misinformed, you had one interview which consumed exactly half a day, including flying time, and which, I understand, went very well.
It did?
Justice Franklin will rarely encounter a candidate as qualified as yourself. However, that is beside the point. I'm concerned right now with this paralysis that apparently grips you. I am not unmindful that the exit from law school entails certain pressures. One cannot help feeling certain intimidations as one faces for the first time the real world in all its complexity and harshness. Do you agree, Mr. Gold?
I couldn't agree with you more, sir.
Nevertheless, one must not succumb to this pressure. One must continue to function. And in your case, a new law review president must be chosen. Unless there be any ambiguity in my language, I expect a report from you within the week on your progress and final recommendation by week's end. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Put my stuff on the desk. Okay, gather round. Let's move. As impossible as it is to fathom the law review without yours truly at the helm, it is my duty to select, with the advice and consent of Professor Kingsfield, a successor. In case you haven't heard. So if any of you feel you possess some special quality that I may have overlooked in the past year, please be sure to enlighten me within the next week. Another thing. This is a hard time for us all. Exams are coming up, graduation for some, but we have to get out this next issue. I wanted to reflect our best work. It is the last issue that's going to have my name on it, and how you contribute to it will go a long way in determining who takes my place next year. I think I have a pretty good idea which among you considers themselves presidential material. But just for the record, with those of you who would like to be considered, please raise your hands. Oh, people, come on. I mean, for the last 2 weeks, you've been kissing my ass, and now you come down with a case of the bashfuls. Get them up! Good. A full-scale mutiny. Okay, you overachievers, get back to work. Zeiss, Myslewski, here.
I knew it, Hart. damn it, I knew it. You just had to go for it, didn't you? You told me you weren't interested in becoming president.
Well, Harriman, I lied.
That's not good enough. This is a stab in the back.
It's not that big a deal. Let's be civilized.
I'm better qualified for the presidency, Hart, and you know it. And most important, Golden knows it.
Charles, I'd like to talk to you about the new securities chair.
I promised the rest of the faculty I'd stay away from recruiting.
I appreciate that. But there is someone who I think would be a boon to our faculty. Margaret Tyler.
I've served on several committees with her. I was very impressed. But would the retiring chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission be interested in the academic life?
Charles, why don't you invite her to pay us a visit? Use those persuasive powers of yours to
You
get her aboard.
overrate me.
No, I don't. This would be a real plum for our faculty, Charles.
I'll do my best.
Frank, you made it. Terrific.
Frank. It's great to see you. Nice place.
Dad hated it. Well, congratulations. Acceptances here and Yale and Stanford.
Yeah, I was lucky.
You want a beer?
Sure. And it's amazing, isn't it? I swore I'd never be a lawyer like the rest of you. And here I am.
You'll do it differently. You always do.
I hope so.
Sit down.
Frank, what do you think of my coming here?
I think it's great.
If I remember correctly, when I followed you to Exeter, you pouted for a week.
Well, maybe for a day or two.
Look, it doesn't really matter where I go to law school. It really doesn't. But I'd rather come here.
Every Ford has for the last 4
But
generations.
I don't have to. I mean, if you'd rather I go elsewhere.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Come on, Frank. I'm talking about years of competition. We couldn't even go swimming without racing against each other. One of us ending up crying. So be straight with me. If you want me to go somewhere else, tell me.
Tom, you're way off base. To law school.
To law school.
Yes, what is it?
Chairman Tyler to see you, sir.
I'll be right out.
Hello, Professor.
Madam Chairman, thank you for coming.
Professor, you wanted me to place a call for you now.
The justices will be lunching till 2. We'll call then. The brethren of the Supreme Court are considering several of our 3Ls for clerkships. It seems they want additional information.
Information or recommendation? And after you finish planning the Supreme Court's future, I have a feeling that you're going to begin on mine.
I'm going to try to convince you that your future is best served by becoming a member of our faculty.
Well, that's very flattering. But the only thing I'm interested in right now is being a grandmother.
Are you serious?
Completely. I've had a wonderful career, but I want to bask in the joy of grandparenthood for a while.
I would have assumed that with such an impressive range of experience, one might seek more of a challenge than dandling a burbling baby on one's knee.
I don't see it quite that way.
You know, the excitement of grappling with untrained, intelligent minds can be quite exhilarating.
I don't doubt it. But I've made my decision.
Then why did you come here today?
Out of courtesy to the great Charles Kingsfield.
Well, Perhaps as long as you are here, you will attend a class or two to sample the interaction between faculty and students.
Will you have a contract and a pen waiting outside the door? Professor Kingsfield?
Not now, Nottingham. I told you no interruptions.
It's Justice Franklin, sir. Not now, even for a Supreme Court justice.
Yes, Bill. Yes, I do. I do. I recommend him very highly. He's a remarkable young man.
What is this, Madame Tussauds Law Review?
All right, I want to propose a toast to Gerald Golden, law clerk, United States Supreme Court! He's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny, which nobody can deny, which nobody can deny.
Golden, what are you doing out here? The party's in your honor.
Nice night. No one is working, but it's still a nice night.
Something wrong?
Wrong? No. Nothing's wrong. Hart, you know something? Graduation is starting to feel like a kick in the pants.
You should feel elated. Do you know how many students get chosen to clerk for the Supreme Court? It's the ultimate honor.
I've been a grade A student all my life. A grade groveler. Always seeking honors. Wasn't much good in sports. And girls? But I was bright. And I worked like a maniac to be the best.
And it paid off. This is what you worked so hard for.
Terrific. I'm going to the Marble Monastery. My heels will click along the marble floors as I bring books into the popes. We'll sit high up in our big granite building and discuss the fate of the world. Only I won't be able to discuss it with you or anybody else, because I'll have taken the monk's vow of silence.
Golden, after you clerk, you can write your own ticket. What more could you want?
You know what I enjoyed the most in the last 3 years? Working for Buchanan and Woods last summer. Some of the best work I've ever done was on a little case pro bono. We didn't make a cent, but I came up with a brand new theory. I developed it, researched it, and plotted the strategy, and I won. There's a whole world of litigation strategy that I find absolutely fascinating.
You can do it. Just put it off. Do it after the clerkship.
Gerald Golden is not known for his patience.
I am sure you can suffer through a year clerking for the Supreme Court.
This should be my biggest problem. Let's go back to the party.
There, of course, but...
So you do get some time away from the library.
1 hour a day, and it's almost up.
This is the cushy part. Wait until finals.
Check, please.
I'm still recovering from my first set of exams, and that was 3 semesters ago. Okay, what's the trivia question today?
Who is Dewey's running mate in 48?
What's this about?
Oh, it's a little trivia game we play to get out of paying one's part of the tab.
Law students, you're even competitive about paying the bill.
Hey, it's good training for private
Well,
practice.
come on. What's the answer?
I think it's Henry Stimson.
Frank, that's not right.
I think it is.
Stimson was Secretary of War under Roosevelt. He was a Democrat.
I think you're wrong, Thomas. I'll say Henry Stimson.
Should have listened to him, Ford.
Oh, well, who remembers the losers anyway?
Bill?
I have no idea. I'll say, Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger was Attorney General under Lincoln.
Oh.
Tom?
Earl Warren.
Correct.
How did you know that?
I don't know. I just did.
All right, how much is it?
Wait a minute. I still have my question coming.
Okay. Who holds the major league record for RBIs in one season?
Hack Wilson, Chicago Cubs.
Damn it. Thought I had her.
185 in 1930.
190.
Oh, yeah? Huh. This guy's really good, Ford. You ought to watch out for him.
And I challenge you to produce, to name, any other individual who has paid that much to the state treasury. What good intentions? The man was greedy. He tried to weasel out of $15 million in taxes. And I challenge you to produce, to name, any other individual who has paid that much to the state treasury.
I'm home.
James, keep it down. Tom's asleep.
It's midnight. He's asleep. Doesn't sound like law school material to me.
James, he's in your bed.
He's in my bed? Well, he's your brother. You put him in your bed.
I thought you'd be working late, as usual.
What am I supposed to do? Crawl into bed with him?
Take my bed. I'll sleep on the couch.
Oh, what the hell? I'll sleep on the couch.
You sure?
Already gone.
Wait. So what do you think of my brother?
Nice guy.
Hell, I've got the same chromosomes. I just never applied myself the way Tom has. Maybe if I work hard, I can change things.
I want a woman. That's what I want.
Trying it on for size?
Oh, sorry.
I used to dream about being president of the Law Review, too. Now all I get is nightmares. Hart, Judge Rappaport died last night. Kingsfield called me this morning. We need to stick in an obit in the next issue of the Review. Will you dig out his major opinions, give me a quick summary of his life? He was a good judge, wrote some good stuff. And he's an alumnus.
All right.
Hart was the first one here. He gets points for that. Get going, Hart.
Excuse me.
So, how are the slackers?
May I remind you, gentlemen and ladies, that today we begin the final 3 weeks of our study of contract law. Soon, you will be taking final examinations, where you will have a chance to demonstrate what you have learned in this room. On another matter, we have a guest with us today, and I should add, a very distinguished one. The retiring chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Margaret Tyler. Next year, in your classes on administrative law, you'll learn how important her impact has been. Now, Miss Kiernan, let us assume that you sing in a band. That band pays you $100 a week for the next 6 months. Now, another band leader hears you and offers you $200 to join his band. And you accept his offer. Does the first band leader have any recourse against you?
Well, he could sue me for damages. Probably lost profits and maybe the cost of finding a singer to replace me.
But what if he felt your services were unique? Could he prevent you from joining the second band?
Under the principle of Philadelphia Ball Club versus La Jouet, he couldn't force me to sing in his band, but he could prevent me from joining a second band.
Quite right, Miss Kiernan.
But isn't the La Jouet case a special situation? I mean, if the antitrust laws were enforced, he wouldn't have been in the position of accepting slave wages.
It is quite beside the point, Mr. Kramer, for our purposes.
I don't think so, sir. I mean, La Jouet was a great hitter, one of the best in history. But because of the conspiracies in the major leagues, he had nowhere else to go but the minor leagues.
Nevertheless, he did sign a contract.
Yeah, but an illegal one. I'd like to know what Chairman Tyler thinks of that.
Oh, my specialty was securities law.
You were a federal judge. You must know antitrust law.
Well, somewhat.
Well, was the contract illegal?
Well, it's hard to know. Baseball has always received gentle treatment when it comes to antitrust laws.
So you know about Kurt Flood?
I filed one of the major amicus briefs in the Kurt Flood case.
You were involved in that case?
For a time.
Well, how would you decide the Lajoie case?
It would depend if there were a legislative exemption. In 1901, there was none. So I would have ruled for LaJoie. Of course, antitrust at that time was largely ignored, so I would probably have been impeached.
Professor, what was that all about?
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Prompting that young man to call on me.
I did not prompt him. He did it entirely on his own.
Professor, how often is there a contracts case with antitrust overtones? And how did a student just happen to bring up a case that I'd worked on?
Sheer coincidence, I assure you.
Why is it I don't believe you?
Excuse me.
Yes?
I understand that when Judge Rappaport retired from the bench, he donated his letters to the law school?
Never heard of him.
It's right here in this article of his in the Bar Association Journal concerning his retirement.
Yeah. So what? It says here they can't be viewed until his death.
He died last night.
I don't know about this, Mr. Hart. I think we ought to wait until the morning. You ought to talk to the law school's chief librarian.
Oh, come on, this is law review business.
Yeah, but...
Oh, I won't take anything out of this room. Thank you.
You went to work for Roosevelt right out of law school?
Yes, we were real firebrands in those days. Hell-bent to put the country back on its feet.
Which agency were you with?
Oh, I moved around here and there.
You can be more specific than that.
Well, I helped draft the Securities and Exchange Act of 1934.
The law that set up my commission. I've spent the last 5 years enforcing a law that you drafted.
Enforcing it very efficiently, might I add.
What other surprises do you have in store for me?
I'm hoping that you'll have a surprise for me.
You are an inscrutable and clever man, Professor Kingsfield. And I have a feeling that matching wits with people in Washington will be child's play compared with this.
A mere law professor, madam.
Zeiss, where the hell is your note?
I put it in the box.
Well, I can't find it. Then it doesn't go in. Harriman, did you make those corrections I told you about?
Here you go, all blue penciled and ready to go to the printer.
And zap it to the printers. Hart. Anyone see Hart? The tribute to Judge Rappaport is the lead item. The printer needs it today. I mean, how long does it take him to write 3 paragraphs?
Golden, it was on your desk.
Not now. I have to find Hart. Get to work. What is this, the post office?
Hi. Hey, what time is it?
I hate to ask you this, Hart, but, what are you doing?
These are Judge Rappaport's letters. Golden, they are fascinating. He talks about all his major decisions. Do you realize how much he agonized over them?
This was an obit that a 1L could have knocked out in 4 hours, maybe less, okay? So how long is it going to take you to pull all this together?
I think maybe sometime this afternoon.
This issue has to go to the printers this afternoon.
Well, let's hold the obit over for the next issue. It's important.
Another important judge will have died by the next issue. Maybe two. We can't hold things over.
You can't serve up the law as if it were a hamburger in a fast food diner.
Hart. I just wanted you to summarize his career. Where he worked after law school. How he got appointed to the bench. His contributions to this school, his important decisions.
The law is made in a judge's mind. It's a crucible. I wanted to explore his mind so that I could evaluate his contributions. These letters give us a chance to see how the law is made, to see how legal theory is developed.
How the hell did you get involved with these?
I just stumbled on them. But once I found they were here, I couldn't ignore them.
You know, Hart, you always check out left field. You always have.
I can't do it any other way.
Hart, the president of the Law Review can't go into left field. He's got to synthesize, abstract, push. You'll never be able to do it.
Well, I blew it. Take a good look at the next candidate for Law Review president.
Working all night wasn't enough for Golden?
It's too much for him. I lose out for doing more than he wanted.
Oh.
It's an empty refrigerator. It's very symbolic. Let's go out for breakfast.
James, it's after 3 o'clock. I've already had lunch.
Look, we'll get some eggs and chase some women. And, or we can go audit some classes. Yeah, that's a good idea. Little English lit course, listen to some poetry.
Buddy, you've got brain fatigue. You've lost it.
Well, then humor me.
Well, sir, Stotts is thorough, but somewhat limited in originality. Harriman is incredibly efficient, although she has been known to antagonize the other members. Hart has the inspiration, but tends to go off on a tangent. I suppose, on balance, Harriman would be the logical choice.
The logical choice. One would expect a little more enthusiasm in naming a successor to head a journal to which you've devoted every waking hour of the past year, Mr. Golden.
Professor Kingsfield, I know you don't have the time to counsel students on their individual problems, but I was wondering if you could just...
Proceed.
I've been offered the Supreme Court clerkship.
I know that. I've spoken to Justice Frank.
I've also been offered a position with Buchanan and Woods, litigators. And I feel like I'd like to go there when I graduate, but how could I ever give up a clerkship to the Supreme Court?
Mr. Golden, a clerkship, such as you are being offered, would single you out, make you a member of a very select minority, and give you a perspective on how the most important judicial decisions in this country are made. Therefore, it would be sensible, or to use your word, logical, simply to accept the clerkship. Mr. Golden, I spend my life trying to get students to grapple with the problems in a logical way. However, logic is only a tool. It can be used only when one has all the facts. Emotional facts, personal facts are far more difficult to uncover, and it is here where the great god logic is often reduced to impotence. So, go home Mr. Golden, and think very carefully about your future.
Thank you, sir.
And whatever your decision may be, good luck, Gerald.
He called me Gerald.
Hart dropped off the obit. You told him to write 3 paragraphs. He wrote you a manuscript.
Good. Good.
I hope you've enjoyed your visit to our institution.
Oh, I have, immensely.
And
And what?
will you be joining our faculty this fall?
If you're sure you want me, yes.
Of course we want you.
Well, and I accept.
And what about those hordes of grandchildren you were going to devote yourself to?
I think I'll confine myself to weekends and holidays and spend time with older kids during the week.
Excellent. I shall alert the dean.
I already have. Oh, well, you have a class to teach, and I have a plane to catch. Well, I guess this puts us on a first-name basis.
Yes, it does, if that's what you prefer.
Well, goodbye, Charles. I'll see you in the fall.
Margaret.
Got everything?
Yep. Just got the one bag.
Tom, I've been doing some thinking. And maybe it would be better if you didn't come here. I know I said I didn't mind, but I think I do.
I knew you felt that way.
It's because I'm afraid you'll set this school on fire. Make me feel mediocre by comparison, and I'd resent you for it.
Frank, I think you should know I've decided to come here.
Is there any way I can make you change your mind?
I don't think so. See you, Frank.
Give my best to Mom and Dad.
Well, this is it, people. The moment you've been waiting for. Personally, I've been dreading it. It wasn't an easy decision to make. I thought the new president should be cast in my own image. Tough, hard-nosed, not afraid to kick butt. So there'd be a Gerald Golden clone running things next year. Fine. But I realized that times change, and change is a good thing. I knew then I wanted someone who had the vision to explore, to be creative, who wouldn't be afraid to take risks, to see the art in the law, not only the craft. I'm putting the review in good hands, and the new president deserves as much loyalty and dedication as you've given to me. Hart.
What?
What do you want me to do? Proofread, site check?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're the new president, Hart. I work for you. Give me a damn assignment. If I don't get something to do, I'll cry.
Hold it. Got it.
Golden. Oh, I'm going to rack up a whale of a phone bill next year. Every problem that comes up, I'm going to be calling you in Washington.
No, you'll handle it. But if you do need me, it'll be a local call.
What do you mean?
I turned down the clerkship. I'm going to litigate next year.
No, I don't believe it.
Believe it, it's true.
Golden, you're out of your mind.
No, Zeiss, I finally came to my senses. I'm going where I belong. And Hart, you and your lousy obsession with that obit helped me to realize that. You could be maddening, Hart, but you always end up making a beeline for the truth. I like that. Okay, look, it's been 5 minutes and I haven't done any work for the review. What do you want me to do?
Me?
Come on, Hart. What's the matter with you? Is this the way you're going to run the review? Me?